Okay, here we are. We are on our third day of part B and our eighth day overall. Yes. So, and today is Tonification Day. When we learn and we do the whole um, tonification series protocol on the body, which is awesome. But before that,
We'll do some other tonification with our
yes,
massage. We'll do our tea
self-massage
massage again
day.
today. I invite you to let's find our Wuji posture and let's do some nice massage going from head to toe.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take a moment. Feel your feet on the floor. Find that nice, strong connection with the earth. Good. Getting a sense of rooting into the earth. And let's just start with some nice deep breaths. In and out through the nose. Filling ourselves up with chi. Inviting ourselves to be more and more in this moment. Good. And then bring your focus to your palms. Let's begin to gather some energy from the earth, from nature, from the sky, and give a little wash over the front of the body. Begin that process of just connecting with the body as we wash away any tension into the earth. And again, earth, nature, and sky, washing down the back of the body, all the way down into the earth. And one more time, right down through the crown, all the way down through your feet and down into the earth. And then let's bring our hands up in prayer position and have a moment. Let's set an intention. Let's set an intention for this day. What would support your highest good? What would support any healing journey you might be on? Let's have a moment just to breathe with that. Setting the energies ahead of time. Inviting ourselves and the chi and our guides and guardians to be with us, to support us as we go through this class today and then beyond. Just notice how that wants to show up. And 3 more nice deep breaths. Good. All right. Let's begin to rub the hands now. I'm going to invite you to place them over your eyes. And let's soak some of that heat in through the eyes, optic nerves, into the brain. As you exhale, imagine it flowing down the spine to the danchen, like a big cauldron there to collect it all. And notice if one eye is more dominant and see if you can support them both. Let it come in, both the left and right eye. Do that for a couple more breaths. And then bringing your hands off your eyes, let's start to wash the face from the chin to the forehead. Let's inhale, exhale down over the ears. Start to say hello to the face and all the sense organs. Waking up the chi. One more time. Feel that tingling in the face. And then let's do the top of the head with our 10 dragons running through the forest. Let's go through the hair, to the top of the head, side of the head, back of the neck, and flick away any excess tension and heat. Really good for headaches and cooling the body off. If you're feeling overheated, this is a great way to cool off the body. One more. All right. Let's move into the sense organs. Let's take your thumb, put it in the ear. Take your index finger and grab the back of the upper ear. Slide the index finger from the back to the front, twisting the upper ear while the thumb stays stationary. And just rub the top of the ear and activate the chi in the upper ear. So it's twisting the upper ear. Thumb is stationary to hold it there. Index finger is going from the back to the front and then doing it again. So it's not going back and forth, it's just going back, front, and again. Getting some blood flow into the ear. And then move your focus to the earlobe. Now if you have earrings, be careful, but otherwise a gentle tug and a release. Good. All right. And take your left hand, place it on your abdomen. Take your right hand and reach around and grab the upper ear. Turn your head to the left and give yourself a slight tug of the ear up and to the right. Hold this posture and breathe. In and out through the nose, tongue on the upper palate. And just open that flow into that ear, but also a little bit of working with the posture here. Helping that chi move through the ear. Opening up that ear canal a little bit more. Good. One more breath. And then we can release, switch hands. So now right hand at the navel, left hand grabs the right ear. Turn the head to the right and give your ear a slight tug and up to the left. And hold the posture and breathe. Let's open up the energy that flows through this ear. And smile. Lovely way to get the chi flowing. Good. One more breath. Nice deep breath in, let it go. And we can release the ear. And going to turn around because we're going to do our beating the heavenly drum. We're going to tap the back of the head here by flicking the index finger off the middle finger into the back here, right at the occiput, where the spine connects with the skull. You're going to cover your ears, flick that like a beat of the heart. And we'll do that with eyes closed. So we're going to do that 24 times. And then a little rub at the back of the head and neck. And last thing for the ears, a little compression. So if you have hearing aids, be really careful, but otherwise press and release like a plunger. Right. Good. Really helping all those different issues you might have with ears. Being the heavy drum's really good for tinnitus or any equilibrium issues. Let's bring our focus now to the sense organ of the eyes. So we'll start with the bladder point, which is right there in the tear duct of the inner eye. So pick a finger, let your hand rest there, and let's do a little massage of this point. You're just making little circles to activate the chi that flows not only in the corner of the eye, but also through the bladder channel, which runs all the way down your back, down the back of the legs, all the way to your little toe. And then let's do some circles the other way. Nice, slow, easy circles. Good. Great. Now let's move to the eyebrow, center of the eyebrow, called Yu Yao. It's an extra point. It's associated with helping the liver. So we want to give that one a little extra support by giving little rubs here. This point is really good one if you deal with any kind of headaches, especially migraines. Keep that point activated to eliminate the tension that can build up there. If you have a migraine, it's going to be a very tender point. And try some circles the other way. Lovely. Let's move our focus to the outside of the eye, right here on the edge of the eye socket. This is gallbladder 1. This is the one where we were gathering all that energy to release it down yesterday, all the way down the side when we were clearing the gallbladder channel. It starts right here. And let's open up not only the corner of the eye here, helping the eyes as a whole, but also that gallbladder channel, all the energy that flows down the outside of the body, lateral side of the body. And try some rotations the other way. And breathe. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Good. Let's move to the last point, which is right below the pupil when you're looking ahead and directly below Yu Yao, right here on the edge of the eye socket. And there we go, stomach point number 1. And breathe. Stomach channel runs down the front of the body. We can start to open that up as well. And reverse the rotations. Good. Good. Get a sense of your eyes starting to get a little bit more chi, a little more sparkle. Let's do all the points. So take your thumbs, put them in your cheekbones, make a little knuckle. Bring that knuckle of the index finger into that first point and rub along the eyebrow to the outer point, back along the eyebrow to the inner point, and then go underneath and back. So like windshield wipers, back and forth instead of around in circles. Back and forth, back and forth. So above and then below. Above and below. And you decide how much pressure. It's pretty thin skinned here, so you want to manipulate the chi, but don't want to hurt yourself. You just want to massage the area. So find the right amount of pressure for you. Let's do that one more time. One more above and one more below. And then just feel your eyes. Let's move our focus to the sinuses and the nose. So let's start with the nostrils, right here in the corner of the nostrils, large intestine 20. Let's start to open up the sinuses, making little circles there. And try some the other way. Great. Let's find that point about halfway up the edge of the nose here, on the edge, right along the edge of the nose, on the face. And let's open up that. That's an extra point. It's not associated with any channel, but it's a great point for opening up the sinuses. And let's try it the other way. And let's go right up to the bridge of the nose and make little circles here. And let's reverse it. All right, let's open up all sides of the nose here. So let's bring our thumbs to the cheekbones and we're going to rub up and down the side of the nose here. Get a sense of moving the chi. And then let's do the lower sinuses. So now move to the cheekbones or to the jawline. Take your knuckle and place it right there at the corner of the nostrils and go under the cheekbones and release. Under and release. Moving in the downward direction just to really focus on opening those lower sinuses. And one more. Take a few breaths here. Feel your sinuses. Hopefully they're more open. All right, let's move into the teeth, the tongue, the gums. We'll start with our 36 clickings of the teeth. This is going to create a lot of saliva. Remember, don't swallow the saliva to the very end. And now you're going to do like you're cleaning the gum line with your tongue 18 times in each direction, starting whatever direction you'd like. You'll notice the saliva building. When you're finished with one direction, reverse it for 18 more. Good. After that, do that like an ice cream cone. So we're going to go along the roof of the mouth and then back towards the teeth 18 times. Good. You should have lots of saliva in your mouth now. Close the teeth. Use the tip of your tongue and tap it against the back of the teeth 18 times. Good. Now feel that saliva in your mouth and bring your awareness to above you and imagine the divine sending down the 5 pure lights. White light to help the metal element and the lungs. Blue light to help the water element and the kidneys. Green light to help the wood element and the liver. Red light to come in, or pink light to come in to help the fire element and the heart. And golden yellow light to come in to help the earth element and the spleen and pancreas. And imagine that filling your saliva with those pure lights, stirred up. And now let's swallow it down in 3 gulps. Let's symbolize the organs being washed by rubbing down 3 times. And lock that chi in the lower danchen with 3 rotations. All right, very good. And then bring your hands to your lower back. Take a breath in. Let's say hello to the neck as we exhale, drop your chin to the chest. Inhale, lift your head and look off to the left. Exhale, let the head drop. Inhale, lift and turn and look to the right. Nice and slow so we don't force anything. Exhale to the center, inhale to the side. Moving the energy through the neck, upper back, and shoulders. Great way to break up any areas of tension here. Good. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift, and do one more. Over to your left. And one more to your right. And then come back to the center. Let your head come up. And now let's keep the head on a horizontal plane, but we're going to add the eyes. So let's take a breath in. On the exhale, slowly turn to the left. Find that right position for you. Don't over twist, but stretch your eyes to look behind you, which will energetically make the twist bigger without having to turn more. And then inhale to come back. Exhale, let's slowly do the same thing on the right side. Twisting, stretch the eyes to make the rotation bigger without having to turn more. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Stretch those eyes. It's called the owl looks behind himself. So we slowly turn from one side to the other, stretching the eyes like an owl who's a lot greater vision than we, or greater rotation than we do. So we don't want to try to be like an owl. We can do that with our eyes. Good. Good. And then one more over to your left. One more over to the right. Coming back to center. And then let your hands drop back down. And we're going to warm them up again and bring some focus to the heart, lungs, and chest. So let's give them a little clap and rub to generate some heat. Oh, I can put your glasses on again. You can see. And then bring your hands to your chest. Take a nice breath in. Feel that heat come into the chest. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale the heat. Exhale through the mouth. Good. And now breathing only with the nose, tongue on the upper palate, mouth closed. Let's circulate the heat. Let's inhale, come up to the throat. Exhale, come down around the chest, breast area. Inhale, exhale. Inhale up, exhale down, massaging here. keeping the flow moving through the chest. You can work with this idea of like you're drawing healing circles around each lung. Nice energy flowing here. Good exercise as a preventative against lung and or breast cancer. So this is a good one to do. Cancer is stagnation. Remember how we said that's hexing if you say the word, but we call it stagnation in Chinese medicine, and stagnation needs energy not to move. So we want to keep it flowing here. Keep the river going. Don't let it clog up. Good. And one more time. Inhale up, exhale down. So you're pausing at the bottom of the ribs. So now let's reverse the rotation. Inhale, exhale. Let's flow the other way. Inhale on the outside, exhale down the midline. Three more. Good. And then hands come back to the upper chest where we put that heat in originally. And now let's brush that heat away. We don't want to leave any heat up there that can turn into things like phlegm. Nobody wants that. So let's brush it down here. Digestion loves the heat. So let's send it down there 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then lock it in with our 3 rubs of the belly again, right here at the lower Danshen. And let's say hello to the arms and hands. So make a fist with your left hand, and let's focus on the area between the index finger and the thumb on the right hand. And let's just tap there, large intestine 4. Great release point for pain and discomfort, especially in the upper body. It's a great point for moving energy down. There we go. Breathing as you tap, and then do the same thing on the other side. Make a fist. Focus right there, right along the index finger, right in the webbing. It might be painful. Usually it's a little uncomfortable at that point. So as you're tapping it, you might notice that. There's a lot of energy pools there. Good. So tapping and breathing, and then bring our focus about 3 fingers above the wrist and do a gentle pat here for our pericardium 6 Niguan point, inner gate. Has lots of different issues, but one that's nice from a shamanic point of view, this is the one that connects with the energies closest to your heart. And if we turn it over and do the other side, just to make sure we get outer gate, that's to protect you in your relationship with the people in the world, the outer sphere. So let's do the other side. Once again, about 3 fingers above the wrist. Do a gentle tap there. And breathe. It's also a great way to get the blood flowing. And turn your palm down and tap outer gate as well. Inner and outer gate. Niguan and Weiguan. And then let's bring our focus to the elbow and do a little tap there. This is large intestinal 11. Great point for cold and flu. And like an antibiotic point. And do the same thing on the other elbow, right there at the crease. Getting the chi moving. All right. Let's say hello to heart 1, armpit. A lot of lymph nodes there. Helps the lymph move by tapping there too. Good. Same thing on the other side. All right. And gallbladder 21. Give ourselves a little pat on the shoulder. That's also a really good point. That's even a better point for moving energy down out of the body. So tension in the upper body. Good. And then just rest your hand there. Turn the palm over. Take a breath in. On the exhale, slide down your palm. Inhale, come back up. And just smooth out the energy of where we were tapping. Exhale down, inhale up. And if you'd like, I like to go over the shoulder, get a little bit of the shoulder blade, just all that support area for this arm and shoulder. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do that a couple more times. Good. And then let's come over to the other side. We got to tap our gallbladder 21. You can use an open hand or a fist. It's going to be quite, for most people, that's a very tender area. So just kind of modify it to the right level for you. All right. And then let's rest the hand there. Turn the palm up. Take a breath in. Exhale, slide down the palm. Inhale up the back. Exhale down the front. And just bounce out the chi that flows through this arm. Great. One more time. Inhale up the back, exhale down the front. Let's move down even further. Let's say hello to the digestive organs. Let's do a little tap on each side of the navel. Stomach 25. Great point for digestion. And then let's do a little detox of the organs. So let's come out a ways. So you get the liver and gallbladder on the right, and you get your spleen more on the left here. And then come up to the top to help the stomach right below the breastbone. And then go down each side of the midline, down that stomach channel, back to the navel. Let's do that again. Let's go out and do a little detox. Tapping is a great way to detox, help the liver, gallbladder, spleen. You're even getting a little bit of the pancreas here. And then up to the top, help the stomach. And come down the center line. And that's also going to help the intestinal channel. And now I'm going to describe this. We're going to make a circle. So we're going to go, it's going to look backwards, but I'm going to describe it. Up the right and down the left. Let's follow our digestive tract. Up the right side of your body, across the top, down the left. Up the right, down the left. One more circle. And then tap our sea of chi beneath the navel. Let's come around the chi belt, the waistline here, and say hello to the lower back and the kidneys. Give a little support there. Give a little rub. Let's add the sacrum. One more time with the kidneys. One more time with the sacrum. All right. Oop. And then we're going to tap right here, right there, just below the waist on the bum. Quan Cho, gallbladder 29. Let's just stimulate that. That's a great point for energy that moves through the torso into the lower extremities. And then tap right below the hip joint and stimulate the energy that flows into the hip. I think this is gallbladder 31, if I'm not mistaken. All right. And then let's go down to the outer side of the knee, getting more into like gallbladder 34 in this area. Great release point. Go just below on the outer calf here, stomach 36. Great digestive point. Interesting location, but that's for digestion. Let's continue down and tap just above the outer ankle. This is gallbladder 38. And directly opposite on above the inner ankle is spleen 6. Great point. Yin 3 crossing. This is helping the liver, spleen, and kidneys. Come up just a little ways, just below the knee on the inner calf. This is spleen 9, good for blood flow. And then just above the knee on the inner thigh, spleen 10. Man, the chi that flows through the legs and then tap directly above the kneecap. Here's an extra point. I'm going to invite you to open up your hands and tap the back of the knees, bladder 40. Good. And then roll up the spine. Find your way back up to standing. Let your feet come closer together. And we're going to stimulate bubbling spring. A little bit, looks like dropping post. It basically is dropping post. But I'm going to invite you to keep your pelvic floor firm so that any extra chi just kind of fills your Dan Chen. We don't want to release it. So it's a different intention, but we're also stimulating the flow through the bottom of the feet. It flows up through that kidney channel. It starts there. And one more breath. Good. All right. Let's step back out and let's do the same thing for the legs we did with the arms. So bring your hands to your lower back, and this is called descending the yang, ascending the yin. So we'll take a breath into your lower back and the kidneys. Exhale, slide down the outer legs. Wrap around the feet and toes. Inhale, pull up more energy from the earth. Bring it around the waist, the chi belt, put it in your kidneys. Exhale, back down. Inhale, up. Come around the waist, fill. Exhale, back down. Moving the chi through the yin and yang channels of the legs to help fill the kidneys. Pausing for a moment to let the energy settle into the lower back kidney area. And one more time. And one more little gentle rub of the kidneys. Good. Let's bring our hands to the navel. Let's take 3 nice deep breaths and just feel your body. Check in with your energy. And let's lock that in with 9 rotations in one direction. And reverse it for 9 more. Let's take a moment just to feel yourself in Wuji. Feel that connection with the earth, with the divine, with nature, all the flows within you. And then let's take this beautiful energy and have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Drink some water. Oh, there's Gavin. He missed out on the massage.
Right. Okay, a little feedback on that one. Feedback and questions that you might have, or anything from yesterday as well. Okay. Okay, Naomi.
Hi.
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 I love the self-massage. I often do it if I'm feeling too tired to do anything else. I do one that actually Mink has got because you can sit down. So it's
You can
on
sit down for this one
You can
too.
sit down for this one. Yeah.
I,
Yes,
I was actually sitting down for most of this one because
there
I've
you
got
go.
period and I feel really, really tired. So yeah, I was just wondering, that's kind of what I use it for, but what would you use it for? Like why would you go, oh yes, choose self-massage as opposed to something else?
As opposed to something else.
Yeah,
I use this as just kind of a full body tune-up. That's how I
yeah,
use it. I use it as a way to really honor my whole body, go all the way down, but also I now I'm not teaching it that way with you guys, but I start to work at the energies of what's the energies here? What's going on? If I would try to check, I add different points. You after a while you can start to develop it, and I like to rub Ming Men sometimes. I add Ming Men a little bit and just focus on Ming Men. I do other things. I sometimes add third eye. So I use it as a way to kind of stimulate energy where it's not there, but also it just is kind of a full body tune up.
Yeah, and I'll give it for someone sitting down, for someone who doesn't have the energy to do other things, to do the standing practices. Like it's
Right.
a really good way, or someone with more of a chronic fatigue, kind of a very with a low energy situation. And sometimes you have people who have like injured their ankle, or this is a really good time. You can't stand. Like, why don't you do some self-massage? Because, like you say, it always feels wonderful. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So,
yeah.
so that's similar to what I use it for then, which is
Yes, yeah, you exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
And then are there any points that just in general, it would be good to know about points or things that we shouldn't be doing if we're if we've got our period or whatever, or somebody's got their period
Okay,
and
they're the same one that's for pregnancy points.
right,
So there are
which
some,
like gallbladder 21.
yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
There's not that many, like all the down points.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You
do
know,
this one.
don't do these, stay away from this one, that one. It- So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a few.
All of them that are involved in strong release.
Yeah, send the
They're
energy.
already having that. You don't
You don't
need
need anything else going down. So yeah, all the down points.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be good just to try and get
You can
those.
look them up. You can just do a Google search and it would give you probably really complete,
yeah,
acupuncture
right.
points to avoid during pregnancy. And
Okay.
because I don't know the names of all of them off the top of my head.
Me either.
You
I'm not an
know,
acupuncturist, but I know a few of them.
Action, large intestine 4,
Some people in the
large
class might be
intestine
able to know,
11,
and
Yeah, I was
large
gonna
intestine
do it.
11, and then shoulder well.
Do
even
it
in your own
sometime.
country, maybe.
Yes, there's some people there. Yes, and then the little toe, stay away. It's a place to stay away from. Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And don't be working on sea of blood either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
Uh,
sea of blood?
spleen 9?
I think it's spleen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one it is,
Think
but
it's
it's one of the
nine.
but
Do it, tell
spleen
us.
nine and
Spleen
10 are
10.
both very
10, spleen 10.
yeah, I was
And
gonna
where
say
are
Spleen 10
they?
Sea of Blood.
yeah, I
Yes.
was
Sea
gonna
of blood
say
six.
the one
Yeah.
we tapped.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
also Spleen 6, which is one
Yeah.
we tapped as
Oh, it's
well.
also
You
stay away
shouldn't
from spleen
Yeah.
use them.
6. Okay.
Where are
Yeah.
they?
They're
Three,
on the
We
three,
next
tapped those today. The spleen 6 is just above the inner ankle.
three finger widths. Yeah.
Yeah, three fingers above the inner ankle, and then spleen 10 is just above the knee on the inner thigh, like we tapped.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Spleen
thanks.
channel runs up the inner leg.
Should have maybe asked these questions previously.
Yeah. Oh, you'll
Okay.
be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gushing with blood, so yeah, more blood. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So, Barbara.
I just have a question about what has more impact uh, when you're doing healing. So we've had two different healers, two different days, who I understand were in training. Um, how similar should different healers feel about what's going on in your body? Like, does it have more impact on I guess, what the healer's preferences are, strengths are? Or is it more to do with what the patient may have changed day over day?
Well, first of all, we're in a class, so we don't want to get too attached to people, whatever people, we're just learning. So
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
learning and suggesting, and mostly they want to know if it resonates with you, right? Does that sound right to you? Am I picking up? So that's the most important thing right now is that feedback.
Hmm.
Um, and I would just kind of like just kind of see over time, if you start to get some things that continue that people notice or not. If someone says it's kind of like no one ever mentioned that to me again, then it might not be a thing. It might be their thing. So we don't know because we're trying to figure out at this point in learning, you're trying to figure out, well, what's me, what's you, those kind of answers. So we
Yeah,
don't
and
want to get too attached. Yeah.
that's what I expected in a learning environment.
Yeah.
When you're actually practicing,
Uh-huh.
does each healer have a certain type of illness they tend to deal with that people are attracted to them for?
Oh, that's really an interesting question. It's like your current, whatever you're interested in currently, whatever you just read about, you'll probably show up on your door.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of
Yeah.
goes like that. Like I go very much through phases of see a lot of people with, I remember John, weren't you like all
I
Parkinson's for
came
a
into this
while?
because I had digestive issues. Then all my clients had digestive,
Yeah, yeah.
every single one of them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I guess I'm working with digestive issues.
Yeah, and then I'll get the same, for me, it's the same thing. It's like it'll be all, and that'll also be something that maybe if I have something or a concern about something, then that's what shows up. So it's quite magical that way. And then you'll
Okay.
have people who you see over and over again, and they have their thing too.
Right.
So
Okay.
And
yeah,
sometimes, and as you get more advanced, the universe kind of knows you're ready for something, and all of a sudden you start getting these kind of
yeah,
visions, and you're like, and you get a whole series of them. You start to notice this, okay, everyone's got this issue.
yeah, and everybody's also has their talents,
Right.
and we want everyone to go in the direction of their talents. It's sort of like if that's your talent, go in that direction. How you work with people. So.
Exactly. Just like any Western medicine, how they specialize. It happens, this happens here too. Yeah.
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 And and we're more flowy, so you can flow in and out of a specialty. Yeah. Okay, Stacy.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really love that self massage. I thought felt good. It felt really good. And my question is, I'm sure there's an equivalent massage like this that we do for clients. Would it be basically the same as what we just did for ourselves, but we do it for clients?
No, you
No?
would teach it to them.
You would
So
teach it to them, let them do it on themselves.
yes.
Okay. So there's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
nothing that you would do for them, and like what if they wanted to lie down and you just did it for them?
Well, then you'd be like turning their head and
Yeah, I don't know.
might be a little
Yeah, I was just thinking
odd.
that too. You're gonna
Fingers in their
physically.
eyes. I don't know. Fingers in their eyes is a little.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to go into their eye. So
Okay.
There are certain things that we do that are in certain protocols, like a headache protocol where you do some things around the eyes. And so
Okay.
that all comes in different places. It's
and
good
we
to
do
know
touch these points when we're
yeah, we work with the points. We were working with these points just yesterday. So, and yes, you use some of the points that like this one is a good one to hold if someone has a headache and they're not pregnant or having their period. So, so the points that you learn on this are very useful.
Okay.
So they come into play. But then we get into more points than this.
Okay.
and
Thank you.
and also the idea is we really want to support them helping themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want them dependent on us.
Or
Yeah, the idea is to help. And that's what we call it's even called the chi self massage.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're inviting them to support their own healing.
Yeah.
So it'd be lovely to teach people that so that they can do it on their own because also you're not might not be available to help them when they want that done. So it's another way of letting them have resources to support their health and vitality.
Yeah, fair enough. I just
Yeah.
was thinking, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and there are different kinds of Asian massage
Okay.
that do kind of do, a lot of similar things. Like in the Thai massage, they do move the body,
Right, exactly.
they're moving things around certain ways and hitting points. And so there's
Yeah.
different kinds of massage that a person can learn. And some people learn, massage, the Chinese massage, the Tui Na, and and bone setting and things like that that are more part of actual massage. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
whole nother
Yeah.
branch of Chinese
I know.
medicine
Okay. No, fair enough. I
Yeah.
was just, as I was doing it on myself, I'm like, I probably would like someone to do this for me, just so I can just be passive, you know? So that's why I asked.
Yeah.
And the second question,
True.
it's not overly related, but maybe you can at least comment on it. Um, Yesterday, someone had mentioned there was a treatment or something with regards to the full moon that you do
Mm.
on the full moon.
Oh,
I was just wondering if you could
yes.
let me know what that is so I can look it up.
Oh, I think it's in book two.
I
Okay.
think it's in book two, and it's
Yes.
I think it's drinking the moon cream or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's Sipping the Moon Cream
Sipping
is
the
the
moon
name of it.
cream.
Yeah, and it's in the Sun, Moon, and Stars section of
Yeah.
the powers, there's the power of, heaven, earth, and man are the three powers, and the power of heaven section
Yeah, I was just
is
looking
where
at.
you have the practices
Oh,
to bring in the
it's
sun,
in,
the moon, the stars. So
I
we
think it's
have
in
practice.
chapter 14.
Yeah, so we have practices for that.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, check it out. I think that's where it is, but because that's where they talk about.
Yes. If you have
Okay.
a full moon circle of women, have them do the moon cream.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Michelle.
Hi, guys. I was just going to say about that exercise that we did this morning, John. Wow, that is so invigorating. Afterwards, I felt like I'm never more awake. I don't even need coffee or anything or a tea. Amazing. The one thing I noticed, though, that I found interesting, I wanted to comment on, is when I was tapping on this side of my wrist, my left wrist above, I couldn't really, I could feel that down to my foot. But when I'm tapping here, I couldn't really feel a sensation. That's the only part of my body. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But the tap, I couldn't feel the
Oh,
physical.
on the outer gate
Yeah.
here?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
that's your weight. That helps to support your weight chi fields.
Hmm,
so
Yeah.
so pay
interesting.
attention to the fact that you're numb there. You have a numbness
Yeah.
there.
It was like a
Numb
little bit
spot.
numbness underneath, fine, the other wrist, but right there on that side, it was a little bit odd. So I just wanted to comment.
Okay.
Um,
So
and
that means
yeah,
massage it a bunch and pay attention to it.
okay.
It needs some loving.
It needs
Yeah.
awesome. And I was just going to comment, if I may, on what Barbara was saying. I had an energy teacher tell me many years ago that if every time you come to the table for a treatment, this Chinese lady told me that you are someone new. So that it's like layers. I don't know if that resonates, but it's like layers of an onion. She said, so if you're coming
Yes.
in and there's an issue or something, that day, whatever is coming up is meant to come up because you're new. So
Yeah,
I found that very refreshing because,
that's
like
nice.
Barbara, I was like, is it this person should give me this? Am I looking for that? I got very, in my head, I got very like, ooh, trying to categorize and figure it out. And she
Right.
said, no, it's just the feeling. So I thought, I don't know if that's helpful, but that was something she gave me. And and one quick thing for Stacy, you can do a face reflexology, which is something I do for clients. But like you said, ideally you want the takeaway where they can do it themselves because you don't want anyone reliant on you. But as a treatment, it feels really nice.
Oh yeah, like a facial. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and that's very true. We're always new. Like every day we
Yeah.
show up
Right?
new. We're not the
Yeah.
same person.
I thought that was
So
a nice thing to,
there is some of that too. And at
right.
the same time, we do have root issues.
Right.
And
Yes.
and so we do have the part of us that are our patterns. So we have the patterns that repeat.
Yes.
Um, and hopefully as we go through this, that, we're loosening up and like I say, layers of an onion, can come off and every time it's a different experience. Nothing is ever the same. So everything,
Hmm.
live in a changing universe.
Yes. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
so
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay. It seems like that's it for questions. So, guess what? Treatments.
Treatments.
But this is a lovely treatment. This is going to be the tonification treatment. And I'm going to demo this for you, and then we're going to have partners and go through it. So when would you focus on tonification? And this one person is really tired, when a person is really drained. Now, sometimes that tiredness, this drainedness actually comes from a blockage somewhere. And so, these things go together. You have someone with chronic fatigue, it's quite likely they got some issues going on with the liver, that there's liver stagnation, and that there's maybe some spleen stagnation. But sometimes you can't start there. And we need to kind of give them the energy first, before, we got to start off with getting them a little bit built up when the chi's really, really low. Sometimes it's at the end of an illness. Sometimes, for women, it is with very heavy menstruation. There are times when we just need to sort of chi build. And so this is one you would do your own. Now, if I'm doing this, I'm going to come in with some magic gloves first. I've already done a read on the person, but it's also good to start this with magic gloves. We're not going to do that because we did it yesterday. But you kind of ask, okay, just show me. I know I'm thinking, I've done some energy reading and I think this is what they need. But some magic gloves, we'll start with the basic purge. Just the combing is all we're going to do for a purge today. The little magic gloves if you're doing this for someone, at that point can be really good because it'll show you, what do I need? And you're kind of asking, what do I need to do before tonifying? Because we're just going to have a nice tonification here. So, so that can be a good thing to put in there if you're going to make it into a whole treatment. And so this is, so like yesterday when you have a chronic excess, you have that, the purgation treatment is for, something like cancer, which is very excess. You got to you're really working on the tremendous excess that's going on, and we don't want to tonify things because it's in serious excess and you feel it with your hands. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
holy moly. So we just like purge, 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 purge. So, um, but this what we're going to be doing is it's quite the opposite of that. But it can also be for people who have cancer, who have gone through all the Western medicine and they're just like completely wiped out. And then sometimes you need to, and you really have to focus on water because they have something, what we call toxic heat going on in the bottom and then in the body. And they'll need to have a strong yin tonification. And we can really make these tonifications very blue. And so when we're doing a real yin tonification, we really focus on the kind of water and the color blue, but it's added to this. Today we're going to be working more with white light when we come in because it's a little more balanced. Um, just as we go through, when we connect to the kidneys, we'll come in with blue light because that's kidneys. But the energy, you got to play with that. We would never use anything other than really blue and white in this treatment. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do. I hope you can't hear the noise. I have major construction right
All right,
outside
I
this
don't hear
window.
anything.
I love Zoom for that. Thank you, Zoom. Okay, so we will start. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I don't need to, because we're getting used to it now. We'll go through the 1 through 10. We're going to do our invocations. We're gonna, do our wrap them up on our bubble, drop our grounding cords. We're gonna come in and comb, 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 comb. And this combing is very important because this is the only purge that we're doing will be the combing. So the combing, then we're gonna do the flat palm. We're gonna go to the feet and we're gonna do the sonar up the body. Then we're gonna come to the head and do what we did yesterday with bringing the white light and setting that down through the crown. So we're going to do the that into the organs. And then we're going to go to the feet. And we're going to start to start on the bottom and we fill up. So we're going to start here. I like to start on the left ankle. And we're just going to get into the end. Actually, today I'm going to start actually with let's really get into the yin. Let's feel some energy, just like we did yesterday. We're going to send it through the kidney 1 points, just kind of warming things up like we did at the crown. This feels like a good thing to do. So a little blue energy coming up there. Kidneys are blue. So after we do that, we're going to come to the ankle, and then you go on both sides of the ankle, and you don't touch. Hands are separated, and we're going to be walking you through this, and you're just going to focus on energy in the ankle, building it up, build up some energy, and when there's some energy there, you're going to send that energy down towards the toes on the outside. This is the flow, the yang flows on the outside, and then the yin up the inside, back to the ankle. So we're going to make this loop with our minds. We do a lot of moving energy with our minds and with our third eye. As we look there, we guide things. Turns out we have third eyes. Turns out our intention's very powerful. Turns out we're very powerful. Then we come to this other foot and we do the same thing. We're going to repeat that. Down the outside, up the inside. We fill down the outside, up the inside. And we'll spend a little time to get a sense of it. Come up to the knee, same thing. So we're on either side. It's like we don't touch, like on the knee. And our fingers are pointing up towards the head. We fill the knee. And then we spend a little time filling it. Then we're going to come back to the inner ankle. And we're going to send the energy down the outside around the foot and back up to the knee. So we're putting the boots on. First of all, we put the shoes on. Start off with our chi shoes. Now we have our chi boots that come up to the knees. They're pretty fancy. And once we've done that, we're going to come to the other side. And we repeat. And filling the knee. Hand comes down to the ankle. And get that flow going, get the chi boots going. And then we're going to come up. Now we've got our boots on. Now we're coming to the hip waders. We're going to place our hand underneath the hip horizontally. And if it's person is live, you want to be able to touch the sacrum. So right over there towards the sacrum. And then our left hand is on top, pointing towards the top of the head. So the hands are like this now. And we do the same thing. We're filling, filling, filling. And filling, 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 filling. And then we come back to the knee. And we get the energy to rotate, to flow down the outside, up the inside. And then we bring our hand down to the ankle. You'll be able to see better on the other side. But it's the whole flow. Now we get the whole leg involved. So now we got the hip waders on. Now for the person lying down, it feels like you're merging into warm water. It's a wonderful sensation to have this chi moving up in the body. And then we come around to this side where we do the same thing, horizontal and vertical hands. Fill. After it feels full, we come back to the knee, back to the ankle, get this flow, nice flow going. Okay, and then we're going to come up to Ming Men. And we want to get this whole thing going. We're going to go back to our kidney 1 points and get more of this blue energy, this kidney energy now coming up the legs like we did yesterday. You practiced this once. And we'll do the same thing on the right foot. Get that flow going. Then we're going to put the hand on top here and we're going to get a small microcosmic orbit up the back and down the front. So now we've got the legs going. Now we're going to orbit this here. So we're just going to the perineum. So energy is coming down through the perineum, coming under the back and up here. So it's a rotation that we have going here. We get that nice and feeling of fullness. Then we move up just a little bit to the solar plexus. Now, if it's a person's live, you don't have to move up because that can be disturbing, and they're like feeling really good at this point. So you can just, with your mind, bring it up to here, because mostly we're just extending now this flow. We're extending this microcosmic orbit kind of a current coming up to here. Then we can slide our hand down always between the neck and the shoulder to behind the heart. And you're not going to put our hand on here, put the hand above the heart. Especially in women, you have breasts here. So if the person's live, you can just put a finger here, like we call it CD17, conception vessel 17 point, where you could touch there to get this going. But it's the heart. We just want to be really gentle. So we just, we'll do a few through there, and then we're going to move up to the neck. So base of the neck. And again, we don't put a hand on here because it feels like you're choking. So we just have a hand behind. But we're still with our mind bringing our flow all the way up to the base of the neck. So we have this all moving. And then we're going to place our left hand underneath the base of the skull. Base of the skull, like this. Hopefully that was showing it. Thumb on the crown, middle finger, pericardium finger goes on the third eye. So that's here. So base of the skull. Everybody turn around. You're holding the base of the skull like this.
It might be easier if you're sitting down, Wendy, because your head is out of the screen.
I'll kneel down. I don't want to pull the chair back over. Okay, so base of the skull. Holding, it's just resting the head in the hand. Thumb is on one side, fingers on the other. Okay, and then middle third eye, thumb is on the crown. So that's the other hand. So one hand's here, one hand's here. And we'll do a little orbit inside of the skull, inside of the head, moving the chi in the head. So you move the chi here, and then you include that movement through the whole body. So you're here, and you think of it going all the way down. And then you're going to place your right hand underneath Ming Man, and we're going to finish, underneath the base of the neck. And we're going to just get that full rotation going, full microcosmic orbit. Come back to the navel, do our collecting here, wrap them up, and all of that to finish. So, any questions on that? It's really pretty simple. And it's very lovely to receive. Okay, so I don't need to bring my chair over. Any questions before we
There's
do
no
this?
questions in the chat rate yet, but there's maybe.
Okay, well, John's going to give you your partners.
Okay, so unfortunately, we have an odd number of people. So last time Celine got kicked out. So Inga, I'm sorry. This time if you want to give a session to someone, unfortunately, there's not enough people here for that. So there has to be one out. But I'll be happy when I do. I'll be doing the second half. So Inga, I will put you on the table. How's that? So that'll be
Sounds good. Thank you.
okay. So unfortunately, you won't.
I'll give back to my husband later. He
Oh,
needs
there
some
you go.
motivation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the partners are Barbara's going to give a session to Michelle. Esther's going to give a treatment to Gavin. Stacy's going to give a treatment to Tarek. Celine's going to give a session to Naomi. And Elena's going to give a session to Stuart. unfortunately, we're running out of, I have to put the Europeans together because they haven't worked together. So
So giving sessions is who?
is Barbara, Esther, Stacy, Celine, and Elena.
Okay, receiving sessions.
Okay, Michelle, if you hear your name, this is you lay down. Michelle, Gavin, Tarek, Naomi, Stuart.
Lie down.
Lie down.
Okay, let's get ready to go.
Okay.
Oh, I think there might be a question.
Oh, it's completely in Hebrew. What, Esther, what did you need? You wrote it in Hebrew, so I don't understand any of that. Unless that's a sign that you have to leave for some. Oh, she needs a moment to set up. Okay. She's
Okay.
yeah, her table wasn't down, so she's trying to set it up right now. So, okay. We'll just give you a few moments. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Oh, I know how it's spelled in Hebrew now.
Okay, and something from Stacy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
state
sorry. I was just wondering, what is this treatment called?
Tonification treatment.
tonification treatment. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have a name other than that? Okay.
No,
No,
because we're breaking up the full treatment in parts, and this is the second part.
yeah, so it's a general treatment protocol tonification.
Yeah,
Okay.
That'd be more correct.
yeah. Yesterday we did the first part, the purging, and now we're going to do the
Yeah.
tonification part.
Yeah. Yesterday we did the general treatment protocol purgation.
Yep. And then tomorrow we'll do the whole thing. One of you will get that, and then
Yes.
the son you'll get the other half.
Yeah.
Okay. Stacy's looking set up. Barbara's set up. Let's just see.
Okay, well, let's go find our Wuji posture. You're set up and you're standing. Let's see. And you guys kind of breathe deeply. And we'll just start. Esther will, I know Esther.
She's ready. She looks like she's ready now. Yep,
Okay, so
we're
just breathing
good.
deeply, smiling, and getting in touch with the beautiful golden light above you. And inviting this beautiful golden light now to pour down over the top of your head, melting down the front of the body, all the way down to the feet, melting down the back of the body and the shoulders down to your feet, coming in through the crown and illuminating the brain, the glands of the brain, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the sinus cavities, the mouth is melting through the head, melting down the throat, illuminating the thyroid gland, coming down behind the breastbone to illuminate the thymus, coming into the heart, lighting up the heart, taking a nice breath here. As the golden light now fills the lung area, beautiful luminous light coming down now into the liver, glowing of the liver, this golden light coming to the spleen and pancreas, lighting them up, and coming to the back into the kidneys and lighting up the kidneys. Beautiful glow here. And the golden light now beginning to fill into the digestive system, lighting up the stomach, the gallbladder, coming down into the small intestine, filling the small intestine, the heart of the abdomen with beautiful golden light, letting the golden light now rise up through the ascending colon, across the transverse, down the descending, down to the sigmoid and the rectum. Beautiful golden light filling the bladder and the reproductive organs. Good. And seeing this golden light now expanding and glowing, going into the blood, going into the bones, the bone marrow, out into the fascia, connective tissue, out into the tendons, ligaments, muscles, flesh, and skin, and out beyond into that beautiful glowing Wei Qi field, first, second, and third, all around you. 1 is fun. 2 is shu, feet connecting to the earth, melting down, creating tree roots down through our transpersonal points of nature, the elements, and the great, wonderful, blessed consciousness of the earth itself, and receiving this earth energy as it rises up, coming up through the transpersonal points, coming up through your roots, the feet, the legs, up over the head, and flowing down into the cauldron of the lower dantian. So core energy, core earth, your core. And so you, like the earth, have core energy. And this is beautiful energy to have, yin and yang, creating steam, and the steam now moving through the organs, through the whole torso. Beautiful steam out into the arms, down into the legs, up into the neck, expanding into the hands, down into your feet, up into the head. Beautiful steaming energy, 5 alive, magical, balanced alchemy of yin and yang, out through the palms now, out into the space around you. 6 is thick, creating this wonderful, thick, steamy energy around your feet, ankles, calves, knees, hips, coming up around the pelvis, the waist, coming up around the torso, chest, shoulders, neck, head, building up. Wonderful, dense steam, healing energy. Letting this now go into your field. And this wonderful, you have the golden light. Now you have this wonderful yin and yang alchemy. Your field becoming so beautiful and fused with all of the energies of north, south, east, and west, heaven and earth. And lifting up your awareness now up to the head, lifting up above the head to the first heavenly transpersonal point, connecting to the conscience and the higher self, to the second heavenly transpersonal point, connecting to the pure lights and the virtues, and the third heavenly transpersonal point, the gateway of the Tao, the stairway to heaven, the divine light, and inviting the divine, the heavenly light now to shine down through the transpersonal points, illuminating the upper dantian, the head, the middle dantian at the heart, the lower dantian in the lower abdomen. All of these great dantians, these great volumes, and letting that now coalesce and form beautiful inner taiji pole, column of light in the center of the body. And begin to breathe in from below, adding more light from above, from front and back, openings of the chakras, all coming into the taiji pole, and the taiji pole becoming more and more luminous until it cannot contain its light, and it shines out, filling the body. And out now, another breath out beyond the body, out into the beautiful fields of Wei Qi, the first, second, and third. And just feel yourself, and your now again, your Wei Qi fields are strong and vibrant and connected with the energies, with the directions, with the 6 directions, front, back, left, right, below, and above. And the very center being the column of light within you. Good. And now we'll begin our invocations, calling upon our guides, guardians, and angels, beings of light, asking them to be with us, work through us, and allow us to be vessels of healing energy in accordance with the divine will. Second invocation, calling upon the divine to hold the space where we are working safe and sacred and creating 3 counterclockwise circles here to create the safety, going to your partner, thinking of bringing their energy in from head to toe, skipping from head to toe, and bring it into the surrogate from head to toe. Good. And then calling upon the divine third invocation, asking that the beings, the great beings that work over and watch over your partner, guides, guardians, and angels, be with you, work with you to bring your partner the best possible healing for their highest path, and that the work we do be of benefit to all beings. Bringing in a beautiful ball of white light now. We're going to wrap up on the table, your partner, wrapping them up in our 3 bubbles and fusing that into our vortex under the table and asking that to pull in any toxic energy that is released. Good. And then stepping in and dropping a grounding cord from their coccyx into the earth and from your coccyx into the earth, like having a little tail behind you. Good. And now we're going to say hello with combing. So bringing out your fingers, like 5 combs, nice combing fingers. And we're going to start at the top of the head on the right side here where we are, and comb down with an inhale and exhale. Release. Nice combs. And again. Other side. Top of the head. Inhale. Exhale. Release. And good. Nice, strong combing and standing at the feet and going from the top of the head. Inhale, pull down, comb down, release again. And combing through. Get all the dust bunnies out. Yeah. Okay, and now we're going to come up and we're going to do our flat palm. Rub those hands a little bit. Feel your hands. And feel around on your partner. What are you sensing? What are you sensing? And at this point, you don't especially know. You just kind of like feel for it, like what's going on here, all over the body. And sensing. Okay. Hips. And the legs all the way down to the feet. So that's just a practice, kind of getting used to what might be, getting senses. Then when you come to the feet, you're going to rest the heels in your palms and send that wave of energy up from the feet. Wave of consciousness. See where things move through and where things don't move through. And you can run it, you can go up with your mind and then just kind of feel go back and forth a few times if your energy, if you can't really move it through certain areas. Anyway, and then just make mental note of that. You might want to check in with a partner and see if any of that is actually the case. We don't, we're just learning. Okay. And now we're going to come up to the crown of the head and we're going to send our white light down through the crown. So we're going to connect to the divine white light, bring it down your Taiji pole. Maybe pause for a minute just to really connect. Down through the Taiji pole, feel that heavenly energy come in. And sword fingers at the crown, left hand over the third eye, and send that white light down to fill the Taiji pole. And smile. Just know that your intention is powerful and it will bring that light in, and sending that light now into the lungs, white light in the lungs, and sending beautiful red. The Taiji pole is like a rainbow, so red into the heart, green into the liver, um, gold light into the spleen, the pancreas, and blue light into the kidneys. Good. Okay, now we're going to come to the feet. Good. And we're going to connect into a beautiful divine pure light. It's like we talked about the pure light, second heavenly transpersonal point. So beautiful, bringing in that beautiful pure blue light. Let it fill your Taiji pole with blue light, and let's send that up through the kidney 1 points with our sword fingers on the bottom of the feet into those kidney ones. Okay, sending that in and sending that up to the kidneys, seeing it going up the legs. And we're going to let that go. And you're going to come to the ankle that's on your right, which is the left of the surrogate. So you're on your right side, the side that's closer to the screen, putting your hands on either side of the ankle so that they're not touching on either side of the ankle. And if you don't have a surrogate that's that detailed, just do it in the air. It's fine. And imagine that the foot's there. And letting that fill up. The chi coming now to fill up the ankle. And when it starts to feel like you've got some chi in there, bringing it down, just keeping your hands still, but imagine it going with your awareness, moving it down the outside towards the little toe, across the ball of the foot, and up the inside from the big toe, back up to the ankle. And then rotating that energy through the foot. We're putting our chi foods, our chi shoes on. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other foot and do the same thing. Feeling the ankle. Just taking your time. And do you remember when we do our hands towards each other? So it's not about pushing chi, it's just intending. You're just intending. Your intention will do it. Don't try too hard, just intend. And now I'm going to rotate that down the outside of the foot and up the inside of the foot. Up the instep. Down towards the little toe from the big toe, up towards the ankle, cross, and a nice flow. Okay, and then we're going to move up to the knee. Again, hands on either side. Fingers don't touch. On either side of the knee. And it's nice to dress our surrogates because otherwise your hands are on plastic, which is much nicer to have them on cotton or something, something like that. So filling the knee with your intention. Imagine it filling up. And then bringing your hand back to your inner ankle. And you're going to send the energy up from the inner ankle, up to the knee and back down the outside of the foot. Get that flow going. Now it's going down and up the inside. We're on the right leg. If you've got on a different side, don't worry about it. We can fix that later. Okay, now we're going to come over to the left leg, the side closest to the screen. These are our chi boots that we're putting on. The knee fill up. And this can be white light, and white, it could be white, you could see blue light, which would be fine, golden light. Those are all good colors. We would not be wanting to put green light into the knee. So be, the white, blue or gold, all okay. And then bringing the hand on the inside back down to the ankle and sending the chi down the outside of the leg, around the foot and back up to the knee. So you're making that circulation. And you just keep your hands in place when you do that. You're using your awareness to move the chi. Okay, good. And now we're going to come up to the hip. And so if you're not on the left side of the surrogate, the side closest to the screen, come around this side, put your right hand underneath and the left hand on top. The underneath hand is horizontal, the upper hand is vertical, point fingertips towards the head. And filling this area with chi. And mostly to fill an area with chi, it's mostly about relaxation and not trying. It's just letting that flow happen with your intention. Okay, now we're going to bring our upper hand back to the knee and send the energy down the outside of the leg and back up to the hip, making a general flow. So hip waders. Okay, the knee. Now we're going to bring our left hand back down to the ankle. So we have a hand at the ankle, under here, and one hand up at the hip. And we get that whole flow going. And once we have that going, the person is live, you keep your hand on the foot so that you keep connection to the person as you come around to the other side. And you put the left hand underneath the hip, and the right hand now goes on top, fingertips pointing upwards towards the head. And again, we're filling. So this doesn't have a bunch of tricky moves. It basically comes, we're filling them up from the feet. So it's a big tonification. And you smile and relax and let the energy move through you. As the energy moves through you into them, as long as you're not trying hard or pushing, then it can flow in from heaven and earth, which you've already established that you're working with. And bringing the hand back to the knee, coming up the inside of the leg, coming around the hip, coming back just to making that knee circulation to start with. Feels like we've all built up lots of good chi here. But as the chi flows through you, it opens you up to more chi flow. So when you work on others this way, it also helps you, helps your chi, your energy body. And coming down to the inner ankle and bringing the chi up and around through the hip and down. And the main, that just depends on you not being afraid, not being worried, being relaxed and open is what allows this to happen, because that's what allows it to happen in you. Okay, so we're coming down all the way around the foot and back up to the hip. Okay, and now bringing the left hand underneath Ming Men. Right hand goes on the ball of the foot to our kidney 1 point. Now this is the same as yesterday. We're opening that up to bring that kidney chi up the inner leg, up to the kidneys at Ming Men. Think of it going in and filling the kidneys. Just pressing on kidney 1. That connection happening, good flow. And then on the other foot, on the right foot, making that connection up to the kidneys. It can be nice and so much easier to make now that you've opened up the legs. And you may notice now as you do this, is one leg, is it to feel like it connects more easily than the other leg? And often the work we just did will have really opened that up. Okay, now we're going to bring that right hand on top, and we're going to make that circulation of energy here, but we're also just going to take a moment first and just feel the energy again, filling this area. And we're really connecting to the flow that we have already established that's come up the legs. And so feeling into lots of energy. The pelvic bowl is like now like a nice bowl of chi. Bowl of chi, you may see that has a lot of blue or gold or white chi. Or just sense it if you're not visual. It's just like, oh, lots of chi here. Got good chi going on. And then circulate the chi up the back, down, just down to the perineum. There's just the perineum. We're not going all the way down the legs now. We're just in the body. Okay, and then moving up to the solar plexus, moving the lower hand up and the upper hand up. And like I say, if you're working on a live person, you can also just use the upper hand moves up and then the lower hand can stay where it is. But we're working on surrogate, so it's okay. So now you're expanding that and more energy into this area and circulation. And so this area can be very full with chi, so you can just sort of feel like, what does it need? Often solar plexus, most of you just circulating that lower energy to come up here. Just connecting that flow up, and you can really feel that flow coming up nicely from the feet. Okay, and now we're going to move up to the heart. So let's go between the shoulder and the neck. Slide your hand down, not underneath the arm, but between here, down here, to behind the heart. And hand doesn't touch here. And so very gentle with the heart. With the heart, we're mostly, you can put some little chi, just like we did yesterday, into the heart, but mostly you're wanting to circulate, bring this energy up, draw it up. You're moving this chi. It's connected to their feet. They have a nice flow. And the flow of chi is so important, obviously, to the body, and it's fresh chi. They may feel a little cool because the chi is so fresh. And then we'll move up to the throat. So left hand, the base of the neck, and the right hand over top of the throat, but not pressing on the throat ever. So we always let the right hand float in this position above the throat. And again, you could put some chi in here. And a lot of this is just moving that chi, that getting that orbit going. But the orbit now is connected to the feet. So really feel like you're drawing, as the energy flows, it's really drawing from the feet all the way up. Good, and now we're going to come to the head position. So you're cradling, thumb out, and cradling the head and neck. And the right hand, thumb on the crown, middle finger on the third eye. And circulate the energy in the head. It's a very nice thing to have your head vitality circulating, breaks up blockages. You know, that does it, you know, can very be helpful to a headache or some kind of a feeling like that. Okay, I'm just going to go all the way back down now to the perineum. So now you're extending your awareness and making this into a full microcosmic orbit. And then we're going to put the right hand underneath Mingmen, the left hand under the base of the neck, and complete that with complete our session by doing the microcosmic orbit from this position. Making a few rotations there. And then coming to the navel area and gathering here 9 times in each direction. And then placing the hand on top, letting that energy come back in and settle here. Bring your hands out and connecting a beautiful ball of white light from the divine and wrapping your partner up 3 times, and then seal that up. Let the vortex go, taking their energy and sending it back to them. Another ball of white light. Let's wrap them up where they are and seal that up. Keep them nice and safe. Shake off. Ask that any of their energy that has remained with you be lifted by the divine, transformed, and return to them as pure healing light. Ask that any of your energy that has remained with them be lifted by the divine and return to you as pure healing light. Giving gratitude to the earth, giving gratitude to the heavens, giving gratitude to our partner for the honor of working with them at this time. Okay, I believe John has the rooms ready.
Yep, here we go. Rooms are open, so
I'm for feedback.
I am for feedback. Yep. And we can pause our video.
Yep.
All the rest didn't
Yes.
matter anyways. It was all good.
Yes, right. Okay.
Okay. Woo! Here we go. So let's stand in our Wuji posture. You've just got all charged up with your session, so let's get a sense of how that light wants to flow a little bit easier as we bring our awareness above the head, seeing a beautiful golden light beginning to wash down over the front of your body like warm oil. Feel that energy flowing over the face, all the sense organs in the throat, down over the chest, down the inner arms to the palms. Beautiful energy just bringing you more vitality as it flows down over the torso, over the pelvis, the legs, and all the way down to the feet and dripping off your toes. And see that golden light from above doing the same for the back of the body. Washing down over the head, back of the neck, like angelic hands, just massage those shoulders and release any tension there as it flows down the outer arms, down the back, all the way through the buttocks and the backs of the legs, becoming more and more into this moment. Any tension that might be there just washes away down into the earth. And then seeing that golden light one more time as it comes in through the crown of the head and begins to fill the brain. First the left hemisphere, then the right hemisphere of the brain. Beginning to fill all the glands of the brain, all the sense organs. Sending this loving light through the throat to the thyroid gland. Feeling it enter into the chest as it goes down, the arms, all the way to your hands, filling you up with chi. Bringing this support, breathing it into your lungs. Feel this spirit come into your lungs, into your heart, supporting all the spirits that are there. The beautiful Shen in the heart and the Po in the lungs, just giving extra support from the divine, down through the diaphragm, down into the liver, helping the Hun. More at home here, and then flowing into the spleen and the Yi, down to the kidneys, helping the Zhi. All these spirits that we worked with and learned about that are feeling this connection with this loving light as it flows through the muscles and the flesh, into your tendons and nerves, into your fascia, out to the skin, and then in through the blood and the whole circulatory system and deep into the bones and the bone marrow. Get a sense of that energy flowing down the legs to the feet, and the feet beginning to melt like ice on hot pavement, and roots coming out of the bottom of the feet, flowing down into the beautiful earth and all the earthly transpersonal points. The energies of nature, the beautiful 5 elements, the building blocks of life, and the sacredness of Mother Earth, Pachamama, Gaia, all the beautiful names we have for this beautiful home. And feel your connection with the earth and the earth responding by sending up golden light through those roots. Unconditional love coming up the bottom of the feet, all the way up the back of the legs, up the spine, over the head, down the front, filling this cauldron at the lower danchen. Get a sense of that cauldron filling up, overflowing, filling the body with steam. The steam beginning to fill the whole body. All the cells, all the tissues, from the bottom of the feet to the top of the head, to the tips of your fingers. Saturating you with steam to the point this body becomes so full that it just bursts out. Like fire hoses filling the space around you. Starting at the feet as it just encases around the feet, filling your Wei Qi field around the knees, around the hips, all those joints that were just filled up with Qi by your treatment, going up through the pelvis, through the torso to the shoulders, all the way above the head, and spreading out, creating this vibrant field of energy all around you, and a solid field of Wei Qi, full of loving energy from the earth. And then bring your awareness above your head and the heavenly transpersonal points, beautiful energies of your higher self, all the pure lights and the virtues and the sacredness of the Tao, unconditional love. And see the Tao respond to your connection here as it sends down white light, filling your upper, middle, and lower Danchen. See the Janchen's full and vibrant and coalescing into the Taiji pole, that center core of light that gets fuller and fuller with each breath until it cannot hold anymore and it bursts out, filling the whole body to join the energy from the earth in all the cells, all the tissues, charging up your body, and then bursting beyond the body to fill the first field of Wei Qi, then the second field of Wei Qi, and the third field of Wei Qi. And all this vibrancy within you and around you, and this strong connection with heaven, earth. And then lifting your hands to the divine as we do our 3 invocations, calling in all the guides, guardian angels, beings of light that watch over you, to be with you, to support you, let you be a conduit of healing light in support of your partner in working in accordance with divine will. And lifting your hands again and asking all those guides, guardian angels, beings of light to hold the space that you're working in safe and sacred. Let's make 3 counterclockwise circles above our surrogate. Then we're going to ask the divine for representation of their energy to come from your partner and go right into the surrogate from the head all the way down to the feet. Bringing that into the surrogate. And then we'll lift our hands to the divine and ask that all the guides, guardian angels that watch over your partner to be with them, to support them, to help us work in their highest good, and always working in accordance with divine will, but also in support of all other beings. And then bring that in. Let's wrap them up by gathering another ball of light. Beautiful ball of light from the divine. Bring that down and wrap them up the back, down the front 3 times. All 3 energy fields, and then ground that into the place below. Open our vortex with our clockwise rotations to clear out any toxicity. We won't have a lot here. We're doing tonification. And then drop down your grounding cord from your tailbone into the earth and do the same for your partner down into the earth. Okay, let's begin to introduce ourselves to their energy field by doing a little bit of combing. Gathering it up, make sure that you have a nice exhale to release whatever you've gathered. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Gathering up all the way from head to toe and release it. And then come down to their feet. And let's do head to toe from the feet. Gathering up, release. We'll do that 3 times. And then let's take a moment to do a little bit of flat palm diagnosis. So let's rub our hands, get some warmth there to kind of really feel your palms, and then bring them up over the body and start to notice. Once again, we're learning, so we're just trying to build our way of learning of how we sense things. Like some key ways to kind of think about it is notice temperature, notice levels of pressure. Maybe you get different sensations like tingling. That would be information that you could talk to someone about. And just kind of let your hands float over the body, both sides. We're just kind of seeing what's there. You know, always can give extra kind of noticing the organs. What are you noticing above their heart? Maybe they're above their lungs. Just making mental notes over the liver, how that's different from the heart. Working your way all the way down the body, just making notes as you go, mental notes. And then working your way down to their feet. And then we're gonna cup their heels of their foot in each palm. And we'll do a little bit of sonar. So it's an energetic pulse. So we're just sending an energetic pulse up from the heel, up through the body, up towards the crown of their head. And just notice how that moves. Or doesn't. How, maybe it is choppy, or maybe it's different on one side or the other. And you can always do that a few times if you're not sure. Yeah, it's okay to do it multiple times to get a sense of what you're noticing. I know at the beginning when I was learning this, I had to do it a few times to kind of get anything. So that's important, to just allow yourself to play with that. Good. So let's begin the tonifying. So let's come back up to their crown. And we're going to do we're going to do illuminating their Tai Chi pole. So let's lift our hands to the divine. And ask the divine to illuminate our Tai Chi pole, fill it with beautiful light, divine light. And then you're going to take your left hand and place it over their third eye. Do our sword fingers like we did yesterday. Point that at their crown. And let's get a sense of sending energy all the way through their Tai Chi pole, from the crown of their head all the way down to their perineum. It's the beautiful energies from the divine. And that Tai Chi pole, yeah, you can think of this is where their soul lives. This is the area of the soul. This is where all this beauty, all this perfection that is humanity is right in there. And we can see that as it fills up, it starts to spread out like we do with the 5 pure lights. It's going to go into the organs. So get a sense of that white light going into the lungs, giving the lungs a little charge of healing light. Light comes out of that Tai Chi pole and breaks into the blue light for the kidneys. And then green light for the liver. A red or pink light for the heart. And a golden yellow light for the spleen. And even if you're not 100% sure where the organs are, just know that the divine is doing this for you. You just have to be open to that. So it's not about trying. You're inviting this energy to flow through you and be in support of your partner. So better to be relaxed and witness than try. Good. Okay, let's come back down to their feet. Once again, we're going to do our sword fingers. But let's imagine as we do this that we're standing in a beautiful pool of water, blue light, that's flowing up and filling our lower dantian. And we're going to get our sword fingers and point them to each one of their bubbling spring points, right behind the ball of the foot, in the center. And let's just invite that energy to flow out through their bubbling springs and begin to charge all the way up to their kidneys, giving their kidneys a little preview of what's to come. As we just breathe and invite that energy to flow through us in support of them, and know that you're also getting a treatment here by being open to this, by allowing this energy to flow. That's why we say you're not trying, because then you're trying to use your own energy or will something up. We want to invite that energy just to flow through us and be curious about how it's moving. More curiosity and more witnessing is going to be a better way to support this flow. Good, and getting a sense of the kidneys, getting some nice chi. And then we're going to begin working with the feet. So we're going to cup our hands around the ankle. Let's start here on the left side. So it's the side looks like when you're standing here, it's at your right, but it's actually the left side of their body. And we're gonna bring our hands on each side of the ankle so the fingers do not touch. You're pointing your fingers up towards the head, and you're just cupping around each side of the ankle. Left hand's on the inner ankle, right hand's on the outer ankle, and we're just gonna send some chi into the foot. So once again, it's just flowing up. We're standing in that nice pool. It can be blue water. You can even imagine this color being white, if that feels nice to you. White's always a great color to work with. Blue's nice. As Wendy mentioned, also golden light's nice too. That's the color of the earth coming up. And once you get a sense of that filling up, let's create a circuit for it. So it's going to go up the inner foot, around the heel, and down the outer foot. So we're making a little rotation from the heel all the way around the outer foot to the little toe, across the toes to the big toe, and then across the inner arch to the heel, and just keeps going around this circuit to bring more chi into the foot. And then let's begin to move to the other foot. So we're going to cradle. Once again, your hands don't touch. You just let in this case, the left hand's going to be on the outer ankle, and the right hand's going to be on the inner ankle. Fingers are pointing up towards the head. And let's get a sense of sending some energy into the ankle and the foot. And just breathe. And then creating that rotation like we did on the other side, up the inner arch of the foot, around the heel, down the outside of the foot, towards the little toe, cross the toes, big toe, all the way to the heel. Creating this little rotation. Good. Then we're going to stay on the right side, and we're going to do the same thing, hands pointing up towards the head on each side of the knee. And let's send some chi into the knee. Chi into the knee chi. invite this area to fill with vibrant chi. Whatever amount they need. That's the reason we're also letting the divine take over here. We're letting it flow through us, so the right amount will come in to best support them at this time. We just want to get a sense of, when the tank's full. And then when you get a sense of that, take your right hand, bring it down to the inner ankle, the right ankle, and we're going to create a little orbit like you put boots on them, chi boots. And the circulation is going to go up the inside, through the knee, down the outside of the leg, and create a little rotation, always around the foot and toes and up, back up to the knee. So it's just from the foot to the knee. Letting that to flow. Good. Let's do the same thing on the other knee. So now we're moving over to the left knee, hands on each side. You can always come around to the side and do it. I'm showing you from here so you can see a little bit easier. If you have long arms like me, it works okay too. Just sending some nice energy into their left knee. And this time, bring your left hand down to the inner ankle. And let's create that, put our chi boots on this side. Energy flowing from your big toe all the way up to the knee, through the knee, down the outside, and around the foot. Up the inside, down the outside. So we're putting the chi in, and then we want to get it moving and support the flow. And this is how lovely it is for someone to get some more energy. We're always so energized. Our culture makes us quite energy deprived. So this is really nice to support someone and get it, then not only put it in there, but get it moving. That's why it's very yummy to receive this. Good. All right, now we're going to move up to the left hip. So the hand is going to come in. Your right hand's going to go in at the hip, pointing towards the sacrum. And put your left hand on top, pointing towards the head. So they're going in like this, opposite, perpendicular to each other. And let's send some chi into the hip and see how much is needed here. What would best support their left hip? And then let's get that circulating by bringing your left hand down to the inner knee. And let's just do it just from hip to knee, like you're wearing long shorts, chi shorts. Down the outside, up the inside. Rotation's always that same direction. And then make it into full chi waders. The whole leg here, all the way down the outside of the left leg, around the foot, up the inside of the left leg to the hip. Once again, just be present. Invite the energy to flow through you and witness. Good. Let's come around now. And I like to, and Wendy showed too, and I like to keep this too, because you want to feel this connection with the client. So keep your hand on their left foot and walk around so that when you re-engage with touch, it's not this disconnect and then reconnect. So let's do this hip. So left hand's going to slide under their hip. Right hand's going to be on top, pointing towards the head. Left hand points towards the sacrum. And let's fill up the hip. On the right side. And then bringing your hand down to the inside of their right knee and create that little rotation from knee to hip. Up the inside, down the outside. And then down to the inner ankle, doing the whole right leg. Always around the foot, back up to the hip, and then back down the outside. Great. And let's move up the hands now to right behind the kidneys, being men. Bring one hand above. You can touch here or just be above, whatever feels right to you. And let's send some chi into their lower danchen, right through Ming Men. And as we do that, let's start to create a little orbit here. Up the back like we do with our 5 Yang exercise. So we're going to do up the back, down the front, really getting that lower flow going. Lower flow and the lower danchen flow going. Up the back, down the front. And then we want to connect that all the way down to bubbling spring again. So let's start with the far foot, which is left side. Let's touch our bubbling spring. And let's create a little orbit all the way from Ming Men all the way up the inner. We want to go down the outside of the left leg, around the foot and up the inside. Create this nice big orbit now through the whole pelvic area and foot. Nice flow here. Just notice how one side could be different than the other. Could have an injury or something that impedes flow. So we're just inviting energy to be more harmonious on each side. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, grabbing that bubbling spring on the foot closest to you. Energy coming up the inside of the leg to the kidneys and all the way around down the outside. Great. Now, if you were on a live person, you would keep your hand here, but because we're on a surrogate, we can move it up a little bit. So we're now behind the solar plexus. And let's put some energy. We might not need a lot of energy here because this is the solar plexus and it has this is a power center and yellow quartz. There might be a lot here. Let's just see what's needed. So you're sending the energy through the left hand, up through, and then we're going to create that orbit again. Up the back, down. So we're expanding the orbit. We're building our microcosmic orbit. So only going from the perineum up, the perineum up to the solar plexus, and then down the front. And there's always energy coming up from the feet. So but we're going to just focus on this here for a moment. Good. And then we'll slide out. And now it's time to focus on the heart. Once again, we want to come in between the shoulder and the neck, not from the side. It's good practice, even with the surrogate. Even though you can do it with a surrogate, it's good practice to not do that. And so your hands right behind the heart, sending a little energy there. Let's put a little loving light into the heart. We want to be really gentle so we can keep the hand above. Seeing some nice energy here. And then begin to make it flow. Invite it to flow, I should say. Let's go down the front, up the back. To the perineum. So we're building our microcosmic orbit. And then moving up to the throat. So supporting the base of the neck. Really important not to put your hand too close there to not give a choking sensation. Bring your hands up and we'll send some energy into the throat if it's needed. And then we'll create this orbit up the back, down the front, between the perineum and the throat. And if you're familiar with chakras, you know we're building our way up through the chakras as well. Good. And let's come up to the head. Moving to the top of the head. Let's take your left hand and cradle the back of the head and neck. So your fingers are underneath, your thumbs in front here, just kind of supporting the head. And you're going to take your index finger on the right hand and put it on their third eye, and take your thumb and place it right there on the crown of their head. So you're touching here and then touching right here at the crown of the head. And we're going to put a little chi into the head, really help support cleaning out the head, cleaning out the cobwebs, bring a little bit more support here. And then let's create a little flow just in the head. Like we did at the lower, we're going to just do a little circulation just in the head. From the throat, up the back of the head, down the front, through the throat, and back up again. Let's just do a little flow just in the head. Kind of help support that chi, move the energy in the head. And then let's expand that out into the full microcosmic orbit. And you can really notice too that there's energy coming up from the feet, even though we're focusing on going down to the perineum and up the back, just like we do with our guangong. Working through that fire cycle, up the back, down the front. Very harmonizing. And then we'll slowly bring the hands off the body and come around to their right side once again. And we'll do that whole microcosmic orbit from this position. So right hand goes under their mingmen, left hand supports the base of their neck. And let's do the microcosmic orbit over here, up the back, down the front. And then let's lock that energy in 9 times each direction at the lower danchen. And we can step back from the surrogate. Lift our hands to the divine and ask the divine for another bubble of white light. Bring that down and let's wrap them up 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. Let's begin to break off the connection. Gather the energy from their energy that's in the surrogate, send it back to where they are. And we can imagine wrapping them up 3 times in their physical location. Let's do one more little close the vortex, make sure everything's closed, shake off. And now let's ask that any energy of theirs that remained in us be lifted by the divine, cleansed and cleared and given back to them as beautiful healing light, pure healing light. And then gather any energy of yours that remained in them to be lifted by the divine, cleansed and cleared and given back to you as pure divine healing light. Good. Let's do a little thank you for the beautiful energies of the earth, sacredness of the heavens, and for the beautiful energy of our partner that we got a chance to work with today. Wonderful. So let's have a chance to talk to our partner and see how things are going. How was that for them? You can even compare notes. All right, shall we stop the recording now?
Yes.
Here, do they count as our practice session towards
Yes, you can count that because you're here as a TA.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of the
Okay.
students know.
Oh, that's
Okay.
someone else
Cool.
gets to, unless you're a TA. Yeah.
Yes, the
So I
TAs can do it. Yeah.
So I can do the session and create a little write-up about it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good place to get hours.
Yep. That's why we always tell people TAs, it's a good time to TA because you can get some hours.
Now, Celine's going like, how many hours do I have? I've TA'd so many times.
Unfortunately, I have done a horrible job. I haven't logged anything. So that would be something I need to,
Well, you'd have to go back and look through the videos and
Yeah, right.
yeah.
what you could do. John has them so nicely broken down that you could see. It doesn't take so long. You have to like go through the whole thing. You could actually kind of look at the partnership part right before the session starts. Anyway, Mimi.
Mimi.
That's my family. My laptop crashed at the beginning of that. I don't know what happened. So I'm
Wow.
on my phone, and that's my family nickname.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, so when Celine was working on me, she felt all the sort of like density in my womb.
Yes.
And I'm reading. And so I was just wondering if it was always like that, like if a woman's on a period, are you always going to like feel there's something there, or is it because there's something there that needs to be cleared?
Yes. Yes. You won't always feel that. Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't,
Yeah,
yeah.
because Celine would have worked with a lot of people, and if she's pointing it out, then she's probably feeling something extra there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's something extra. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, you're invited to our gynecology clinic.
Yes.
Oh, great. Thanks. When is it?
It's in what, April, I think? March or
April.
April.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yes. And that's all the women are. If you have any
Yeah,
issues
if any women
around,
here have issues, you're welcome to get a
yes.
session from the therapist group.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? It seems like everybody did great there. Enjoying, I mean, those are especially the tonifying is like, oh, it's this warm, lovely blanket. You kind of feel, And a lot of you just got knocked out by it, which is totally fine. And getting knocked out is a deep healing space, and it means that your mind can no longer track things. So your mind just, your mind's trying to do it, but it can't, and it gives up. And you're just like, and you go into another state. And it's great because, because the mind just gets in the way of healing. It's like, oh, what's that? Like, where's that going? Like, what am I feeling?
Why are they doing that?
Yeah, it's kind of reactive. And this way you kind of get into that sort of that river of healing. And so we really like it when
Oh, I love it. I always can tell when
I do too.
the patient gets on there because I'm going, oh, look at it, it's moving now.
Oh, yes, yes. We love to knock. We get to have secret ways that we're like, listen, they need to get knocked out. And we do something called master couple points in therapist level, and it's our good knockout. So
Yeah,
something I use all the time. It's like they need to go deeper.
yeah.
Let's like put them down. We're putting them down just for the session. A barking dog going past. I don't know if you can hear barking dog.
Nope.
Okay, well, that's always good. So glad you can't hear barking dogs and drills and saws.
I did hear someone when you were doing the session out the window there.
Oh, it was probably voices because
Yeah,
there's like
voices, that
the
was it. Just for a
workers.
few moments.
Yeah,
'Cause I kept looking around like,
it's
who's talking?
Spanish. It's Spanish, so you wouldn't be able to understand anyway, or most of you can. Anyway, I'm getting better though. Oops, this isn't where we are. We're right here.
Right.
Okay, let's go here. Yes, we're going to talk about creating a sacred healing space. And yeah, John, let me know if you want to jump in here anytime or
Sounds
just jump
good.
in. Okay, establishing a medical Qigong clinic. And so we want to create a safe clinical environment. We want to create a welcoming environment for people. That means a lot of things. I mean, it needs to be clean. It's great to have sort of warm colors. There was a place of, say, made a clinic near me, and it didn't do very well, even though was like really architecturally modern and beautiful, and it was all blue and white and all of these very pale colors. And it didn't, you felt complete, you walk into this space and you'd feel like completely ungrounded immediately. It had these high ceilings. I mean, when I went in there, I was like, oh my God, this is the reverse of what they should have done. Because it is, it needs some warmth. You need to feel grounded. And they're like the thing about primary colors is that it will bring you in. It brings you down to the earth. And healing is a lot about feeling grounded. Like it's nice to knock them out, but we need that combination of earth. We need earth there. And so that's part of a safe clinical environment. Also, well, we're going to talk about windows and things. So energy flows from of heaven and earth as much as is possible. I know a lot of places, you have a space and you can't do much with it, but people do bring in little fountains. They bring in plants into a space. We'll talk about that too. And then the feng shui. Feng shui is about flow. And so does the energy flow? Cleanliness is so important. And so you don't want to have a bunch of stuff around. You don't want to have, piles of things. You want it to be, you want the energy to be good and open. Pathogens need to be able to flow into the ground, or they can make their way to the ground. If you're in a stone building, they would go down through the stones. If you're in a skyscraper, they can go down through the girders, the metal girders, but you need to be conscious of and encourage the grounding. Fresh air. So being able to open a door or a window and have fresh air come in is really important. When I do space clearing and I get into spaces where there's no fresh air, like basements and sometimes weird closets and big spaces, that is where you will get an accumulation of the dead, of the ghosts, of other energies. Stick into those areas and people sense it and it will get a moldy smell. So fresh air. I had to teach a class one time. I had no idea that because I had someone, arranging the class for me that was all in person back then. And this room had no windows. And I'm like, uh-oh. And you went in, and I tried to teach in there the first day, and the room was half slept, half sleeping, and they couldn't wake up no matter what we did, whether it was breathing exercise or movement. And I just knew, like, oh, before I got to come in tomorrow and clear this space before I can teach the class in here. There was no way to get energy. The closest thing was a hall with a door at the end of it. And the other thing that was taught in there, I think, was something called, like, I think it's yoga nidra, where they all lie down and they're basically snoozing because, yeah, you could totally snooze in this room. It just knocked you out. So, I came in early the next day, and there was a bunch of things going on. And it was so filled with entities that it was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. It's like I'm going to have to give a class on space clearing because it's so densely messed up, so densely populated by other beings who had passed, and they were very much native, and it was like native Californians or indigenous people, ghosts that were in there, and it was interesting because later I was talking to some contractors, and I spoke something about difficult here. They say, well, there's nothing like, and then what's it called? Well, anyway, the area in the East Bay where this building, when this room was, they said, oh, well, we can't even do electrical work there. It's so crazy. There's so many ghosts there. That area is just ghost infestation. And it was like, oh, okay. Yes, that's totally what I experienced. They said, oh, yeah, the electricity thing, everything goes off there. There's like no other place. So it's like, oh, okay. It'd be good for an M12 class, but nothing else. It was anyway, the importance of windows, because you couldn't send them anywhere. I mean, usually you need some light. So anyway, that's one of my crazy stories. So, healthy lighting, it's so nice to have natural lighting if you can, but otherwise, try and get the healthiest lighting that you can. Uncluttered and clean. Yes. Dirt entities do hide in dirty spaces, in cluttered spaces. And one of the things I have to do with people is, you've got to clean this up, or else you're just attracting back more negative energy into the space. And so when things are clean and fresh and open, you can have good energies. The energies of heaven and earth can flow through. But if you've got a buildup of stuff, I mean, I have closets like around this room. I have, cupboards and drawers and shelves, and I have to keep, I'm kind of due for going through things again, actually. But I have to keep going through things and keeping the energy flowing, because if things don't get moved or gone through, they get stagnant, just like your body. And I think, humans, we were more in smaller, huts. We weren't in the situation where we had, all this stuff. Stuff isn't where we came from. We had villages, and we probably moved villages and or put everything on our horses and or whatever we did, but it wasn't, large buildings and then, spaces that were just filled up. So clutter is not natural. And also remember to clear your room with the 1 through 10 and the 3 invocations, or else practice meditations in your room. That's another great way. So when you're not working on people, your healing space can be your meditation space, or your meditation space can be the healing space. But those are good things.
That's what works for
And
me. That's what I do.
I know, me too. I got my meditation cushion over there behind me. So clear with five elements and incense. So, and we talk about that, our five elements. So establish rapport and set treatment goals. That's what you do with the person who comes to you. So, rapport is really important, and you're going to feel into like, what does this person need? And we're going to get more into that when you read their energies. And so that way you sort of set up a rapport before they even get there. And and you can set treatment goals. So treatment goals are to me very much like I would say like, what would you like to get out of the treatment today? And that kind of puts it back on them. It's like, oh, I got to think about that. I came all the way here, or I've met up with you. I'm going to pay for this, but yeah, what am I wanting? So it helps to clarify that the intention for you and for the person. Sometimes you're going to need to explain the treatment modalities. I often need to do that. And sometimes I just say, let's see where it goes. You just see what needs to come through today and see what my guides want to do or where they want to take the session. And you can also, we like to, and then we practice this in our clinic, explaining treatment modalities. People who haven't had treatments with our work before, and some who have, and they know that they're being a client. And then you can explain, like, oh, this is energetic Chinese medicine. We work with energy. We make sounds. We emit colors. Have you ever had Reiki? Well, it's like Reiki, but it's different. It's actually a very ancient practice, very detailed, just like the detail that an acupuncturist has to learn. We have a lot of detail that goes into this, so it's very specific. Honor patients' belief system. Yeah, and people come in and think I've had so many different beliefs that have come into my space or that I've worked with. I've had people who don't believe with any of this stuff. That'll often be someone has sent them to me. And it's often like the partner has sent me there, like husband or wife is like, you need to fix them. And it's like, well, I always say, well, I don't fix people, but I can do a treatment with them and see what see where it goes. And they're like, well, okay. And then, so I ask, what would they like to get out of our time together? And they'd say like, well, what can you, I say, well, anything. And so the classic is, well, I want to improve my golf game. And it's like, oh, perfect. Okay, we can work with that. Let's work with Wuji posture. Let's work with grounding. Let's work with your breath. So, so sessions can go anywhere. Well, I'd like my ankle to feel better. Okay, well, we're going to work on your ankle. And people actually come out of the sessions like really happy. Like, oh, no, it's great. So, and then sometimes I've had very strongly born again Christian who've come in and it's like, okay, well, we're going to work with the Holy Spirit today. And they're like, wow, there's the Holy Spirit. And they have an experience of the Holy Spirit. So they're very happy. I've had like, wow, because they recognize Holy Spirit because it's an energy that they work with. So I've had someone who's getting in touch with their father, that was mediumship, who had passed, and then we were helping his father because he knew his father was very caught up in a lot of problems, and his father, and I'm used to spirits going up towards the divine, and his father shot sideways, and I was like, whoa, I don't know what happened. And he said, which direction? I pointed the direction. He says, oh, that's good. He went towards Mecca. That's where his spirit would want to go. So it's like, oh, okay. So there was another belief. So sometimes we have those things happening. So, and John, jump in anytime.
No, it's good. It's interesting. I had a client that for the first time in a while who was sent by somebody. I haven't
Yeah.
had one of those in a long time, and he was just really, really not having it. Like, what are you doing? And had his eyes open the whole time. I couldn't get him to relax. But
Mm,
by the end, I was like, this is what I'm noticing. What does that resonate for you? And he goes, yeah, that's my issue, because he wouldn't tell me much. Uh,
Right.
he he told me a little bit, and then I said, okay. So I started to really work on that, and yeah, we'll see if how that works for him. I said, please let me know how you're doing. So that happened recently. So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I just honored where he was at, and I told
Yeah.
him, I'm not expecting you to believe anything, because he goes,
Yeah.
you expect me to? No, no. Look at it. Just be present with what you're noticing.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. I'm just offering you something. I'm not trying to tell you anything to believe or that I'm doing the only way that it will support you. I'm just offering you another way to support yourself and the issue that you're dealing with, your bad back. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that was interesting to have a conversation with someone about their belief system. And I said, yeah, I'm not telling you to believe anything.
Yeah.
Question it. That's fine. Ask me
Yeah.
questions.
Well, it's like we do here. We're not
Yeah.
asking you to believe anything. We're just
Right.
asking you to like your experience. We want everything to be based in experience. So yeah, okay, good. And so we receive consent. I consider when someone signs up or wants a session with me, I believe that that's consent. So I don't have forms for people to fill in. I don't do any of that. I can't just trust in the divine. And I know that there are other countries where things are more rigid. I kind of like live in California, the Wild West. Um, but other people have massive things that for people to sign. And, I'm like, well, what are they going to say? They take me to court and say that I put in the wrong energy. It's like, I don't think I need to worry too much. So, okay. You can match respiration if they're in person and if they don't have a lung issue. And it kind of can happen very naturally as you just sink into and, become more connected with the person. And that starts to come in more when we do invisible needles, that we really pay attention more to the respiration. And maintain practitioner-patient relationship. So when you're working with the person, um, you're the practitioner. I'm not big on, oh, and then you can't be friends. Sometimes people come who are already friends. I'm not going to say, oh, no, we can't be friends anymore. Just like, like psychologists or might do that. And it's like, no, we're still friends. And so we will talk more about that in clinical ethics. So patient guidelines. So you don't want the arms and legs to be crossed when you're working on them. And so if you can't see them, you can also let them know that. You want them to close their eyes. Why? Like John is like the perfect example of the person who's like, what's going on? Looking all around the room. And then you just quietly, you just sort of stop and you say, just like, okay, we want you to close your eyes because this is an internal journey and you're going to get much more out of your experience if your eyes are closed. Because if you're paying attention around the room, your energy is out there. Whereas what we want to do is inside of you. And so that's a good way to ask people to close their eyes. Now, I was gonna say some people put a mask over their eyes, and I don't like that because I like to be able to see their closed eyes. I can kind of see the state that they're in, whether it's REM or wherever they are with their eyes closed. But you can also do that.
And I also add a little bit if they're really feeling if there's some level of insecurity where they feel like they need their eyes open, I still invite them to close their eyes and I said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing. So I'll just offer tidbits, not all of it. I'm not going to give them a dissertation of everything I'm doing, but I'm going to say, now I'm just over here just trying to support, more flow. And particularly I did that recently with just this gentleman. I don't do it a lot, but he wasn't comfortable to close his eyes because my hands are moving around and doing all these things, and I'm just saying this is just to do this, and I'm going to invite you to relax and see how that is for you. So
Yeah.
I
Keep
found that
inviting them
helps
in.
too. If you give them a little bit of description of why your arms are kind of, if the magic gloves are just going crazy or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, and they're not to direct the chi, even if they know the microcosmic orbit or if you're a practitioner receiving, don't direct the chi. Let the intelligent chi that's coming into you move where it needs to go. You can do the directing the chi afterwards in a meditation, but not during the session. So we don't direct the chi. You can use relaxing visualization. Some people like to go over the 1 through 10 out loud with people as a way to get them into the space. And so it can also, so that's a nice thing to do as well. Give feedback following the treatment, yes. Communicate during the treatment if you need to. Like John was saying, their eyes are open, he can address that. Sometimes, you're not expecting to make sounds and you're going to tell them, I'm going to be making these sounds. Sometimes when you go a little much into therapist level, you're like, okay, I think I found something here that I'd like to work with and, want you to visualize something. So then we step into other areas during the treatments. And you want to have them do their homework. Well, and they can communicate during the treatment. Yes. They want to give feedback. This is patient guidelines. They give feedback, and they're also free to communicate during the treatment. And you can also let them know that they are. And then they should do their homework. Do your homework. Where'd they heard that before? And you can do follow-up treatments. I always ask guides, okay, when should I come back? Well, let me ask my guides. Sometimes it's soon. Sometimes it's like, just wait and see how you feel. We could schedule something for, maybe a month from now. So it's all different times. 4 major priorities of shamanic Qigong healing. We want to build a strong faith. Testimonials are great, or letting them know other people who have healed whatever they may have healed. Work with a group, creating a strong field. And so it's really great to offer Qigong classes. And then you're creating a group and a strong field, and people have the opportunity then to not just do their Qigong on their own, but they can do it as a group. And of course, you can always have people go to John's groups that are online, or someone else who has an online group to
And
help them.
and the
Yeah.
clinics are a good example of this. This is why we love our
Oh,
clinics at
yes.
the end of the year, because this strong field that's created, even though it's online, it's
Yeah.
so powerful going all around the world. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, we have super energy happening. We call it the healing wave because it's so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong field. We use the principle of purge, tonify, and regulate as you're learning. And, even today's treatment, we started off with the combing. We did all the tonification, but we ended with the movement. Then we were moving it through the orbits, the smaller orbits, the larger orbits, which is regulating. And the medical Qigong prescriptions practice exercises to establish healing. So, yes, we want them to bring that into their life. So if someone's not going to see them for a month, it's great if they have something that they could focus on. Create a sacred healing space. I love this is a Mantak Chia image, but this is us. When we're working, heaven, the pole star just sends that's the North Star, sending that energy through the crown and the energy coming up from the earth. And then we have the Big Dipper, like in the Ren Wu Zong. So all these things create sanctuary. Patients should feel safe, warm, and cared for. Sacred healing space of unconditional love. And rooting to prevent energetic shock. So we do all of this. It's what we're bringing in. It's love that heals. It's the divine that heals. Root yourself, root the patient. That's why we drop those grounding cords. Doctor envelops, or the practitioner envelops. John, remind me to change that to practitioner. That doctor is so silly.
Sure.
Practitioner envelops the patient's body with an energy ball. He must also root the energy of the radiant orb deep into the earth. We do this by creating an energetic vortex under the treatment table's energy field. This specific energetic vortex spirals in a clockwise direction and is used in order to draw the toxic chi removed from the patient's three bodies deep into the center of the earth. So the earth is always here working with us. Okay. Tomorrow, energetic cords. Great topic. Okay. Okay. So did any questions come up during that?
Yes, there was something here.
Okay.
1 second. Just a comment from Mimi. I'm amazed that a born again Christian would come. The ones I know, this stuff is devil's work. So that's very cool that you were able to work with some
Yes.
Christians. I agree with that because I have
Yeah.
had people who goes, "Are you kidding me?" No.
No, no, no. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. And Stacy, yes, you were wondering about intake forms that we use. I mentioned that the other day. I'm going to send that out to everybody. You'll get all the different forms and everything. I always wait till after this seminar because that way you have all the information on how to do a session. So then you'll get all the different forms about how to connect your hours and all that. So I will be sending that out after this, after we finish this weekend.
Maybe if we send it out on Saturday night, then if they have any questions
Oh,
about it,
that's a
we
good idea
could.
too. I'll do it
Yes.
Saturday night and then
Yeah.
you'll have it and you can quiz us on.
Yeah. Yes. Or Saturday after class. Yeah. Then
Yeah,
if they have any questions.
right. So after
Yes.
tomorrow's class, I'll send it out.
Yes.
Oh, heck, if I got time, I'll do it today and then have 2 days to look at it.
Okay.
What the heck?
Hmm. Okay, well, maybe we should do a
A
meditation.
meditation.
Meditation time. Yes, tangible and intangible.
There we go.
Okay, over to
Navigate
me.
all into lovey, lovey land.
That's right.
Especially for you people
Okay.
where it's late night. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes. Here we go. It's so funny. I have hammering behind me that you don't hear. I'm so
No, we
glad
don't
you
hear it.
don't. Ah,
Nope.
okay.
Relax.
I know. Okay, so let's go here. Audio. Oh, and also a reminder, everyone, if you want to be the shamanic Chinese medicine, this is a class that's coming up, but I also teach it in August, so it's twice a year, that opportunity. So just throwing that in while I'm putting up the share here. But that's totally up to you. There's not like, you have to do this. So, but it is really fun and awesome. So
What is that, Wendy?
the channeling class.
Oh,
Channeling
the
test next weekend.
channeling.
Well, you're going to be there.
I'm there.
So you're already
You're
set.
there. Yes, she's already set to be there. Yeah, there are other people set to be there. So
Yeah, there's a
great.
second option, like she said in August. So
Yes, and also options in August and then next January again. Yes, okay. So here we go. Let's see what the guides have to say about what's tangible and what's intangible and what does that mean and what is that and how does that happen? So, okay, how's the volume, John?
sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay. My channeling posture here. Welcome. Well, dear ones, we are so pleased that you are here. And we are so happy to work with you in all that you do, in the work that you are offering others, in the work that is happening for you, for yourself. For there are many levels that are going on. Or indeed you are physical, energetic, and spiritual. And we are looking at these realms in this meditation. So we would have you take a deep breath and relax. And again, and find that deep place inside of you and your center, that inner column of light. As you breathe, you relax. And you let go. And smiling up and experiencing that beautiful golden light coming down over you, down the front of your body, the back of your body, and open to it coming down through the center, coming down through your head, through the senses, through the throat, through the chest, through all of the organs of the body, coming down to your feet, going down into your bones and bone marrow, and spreading out, creating a beautiful field of golden light all around you, letting your roots be in the earth, letting your branches be in the sky, letting that light of the heavens shine down on you and through you, and letting the wonderful consciousness of the earth itself come in to support you, letting these forces move through you, and yourself relax and open as the earth's energy rises up and expands outward above you like the branches of a tree, reaching towards the stars, the sun, the moon, and letting that light, that heavenly light, pour down around you and through you into the earth, and allowing yourself to find that balance of these flows. Good. And we are going to take a moment and pay attention to what is intangible. And we would say that what you have just been paying attention to is quite intangible. That there is no science that could see this or measure this. That it is all happening within your awareness. And if one were to try and find that place where those inner worlds were going on, it would be like trying to find the singer inside of the radio. Well, there's a small band inside of there. I know it is there somewhere, and someday we will find that small orchestra that is playing, or inside a television or a computer. To think that that is where that is located is physical, well, it is, we would call it rather silly. And yet you are in this world of the tangible, of the solid, of the chair that you are sitting on, which is undeniably solid, and it is holding you up, and the floor beneath your feet that is holding up the chair, and the walls and the ceiling and the building, all of this solidity, and your body, which is solid and durable, which can stand in a shower without dissolving, and go into a bath and can swim. It is quite solid. And so there is the tangible, the solid in your world, the measurable, the physical. And think about all of that solidity. All of the tangible, the mountains, the earth, the moon, the sun, all measurable, all distances, all temperatures, And then think of the less tangible, the light coming from the sun, which you can experience as warmth, as light. And yet it is harder to measure. And it is measuring in its effect rather than measuring in what it actually is, particles and waves. And yet, is that what it is, particles and waves? Is it something beyond that? Is it a feeling? Does it have other powers to it? It is like the wind that moves that you cannot capture in a basket or in a jar because it is no longer the wind. It's like the light. When you try and put it into a jar, it comes into a room, but if you close the room, it is no longer there. The sun is not in the room. You can't capture that light. You can't capture the wind. And you can't capture sound. You can't put it into a jar and seal it up and have it there. So it is intangible in so many ways, and yet it is what this world is made of. For indeed, to experience the world, one needs to see that light in order to have the vistas, in order to go beyond touch. And sound is an intrinsic part of the world and of the communication. And yet it is ultimately quite intangible. And these are things that are experienced within consciousness. As are emotions. And emotions are great drivers in this world, and yet no one has measured these emotions. There are tests that are now being done on perhaps the heart to look for a way of measuring emotional experiences, and also in brain waves and brainwave activities. But again, it is like thinking that the singer or the band is inside of the radio. That these are still just energies that are quite intangible. It is like the light hitting the wall so that it can be perceived, and yet the emotions are quite something else. Just as the music in the radio is coming from somewhere quite distinct from the radio itself. And these are all intangible. And thoughts. Thoughts are a huge part of human life. This language, this conversation that can be going on inside of what we call the mind. And again, it is not something that can be found or seen. It is not some synapses going on inside of the brain. It is not something that will be discovered under the microscope, where these words are coming from, the little being inside of the head that is speaking or singing or painting a picture. And if one can consider dreams and all of this, they are quite intangible, and these are quite connected to other realms that are not physical realms. And so your physical realm is the tangible realm. The energetic realm includes the emotional realm. It includes the lower thought form realm and the spiritual realm, which is very real and very powerful, and yet is also quite intangible. And it is sometimes the physical realm that comes closest to the tangible, and it is moved through acupuncture needles and through energy work that you do, and becomes quite tangible to the person that you are working on. It is a place where tangible and intangible cross over. And it is built up and becomes more powerful with the spiritual realm and the connection of the great flows of spirit coming through. And during the work that you are learning to do, you will find that the energetic, the chi, and the spiritual can become much more tangible, much more of a tangible experience for you as the practitioner and you as the receiver. And so then one must look at the tangible. What is the tangible? Well, indeed, we would say if one looked at the tangible under the high-powered microscope, one would see that it is all energy anyway, that it is space, and that ultimately the tangible is intangible as well, and that it is creating this world for you through we would call it an intent of consciousness that is holding this world together, for indeed it is all ultimately intangible. For indeed it only exists in the world of time. And in the world of time, there is no now, that every sensation that you have, that if you try and get that microscope in to find out that a moment of now, that it is very much like trying to find the center of the molecule or the atom. It is the quark. It is something that one cannot put one's finger on, is this now, but one can experience past and future in this moment. And yet you cannot quantify them. You cannot put them into a jar, for indeed they are no longer tangible, or they have not yet become tangible. And so the work that you are doing is quite in the realm of the intangible. And the intangible is in the realm of consciousness. And that what you call tangible evolves and comes from an experience of the intangible, the thought that comes first. This is where creation arises from. Is from your thoughts, your intents, your consciousness. And so it is all intangible, meaning that it is all possible. That it is in the realm of consciousness. That you, as you begin to realize and understand more how the intangible becomes tangible in your world, the more that you can create, the more that you can hold these visions of healing in the work that you do, the more that you can see and create the future that you are wanting to create. You can let go of old patterns that have created what seems to be tangible and see that all that appears as tangible is also intangible and therefore holds all possibilities for healing. Good. And just breathing now. And experiencing that. That the world that you are living in is more fluid, is more malleable, holds greater potential than you might have imagined. That you have the opportunity to transform yourself and the world around you. As you hold the tangible as intangible, and the tangible, the intangible as tangible. Indeed, playing with these and seeing that ultimately they are one in consciousness. For indeed, your world, your unique world is your consciousness. And we thank you for looking at this and for playing with this. For playing with this at this time together. And we bless the work that you do in the world. Thank you. And just taking a minute to let that relax in. Okay. Okay, so we are going to do our closing. Very good. End of the day. Great day. Okay. Well, let's get grounded. Let's feel the earth. Oh, the earth is intangible too. Okay, that's okay. Earth. And smiling and bringing in the divine, the heavens, and bringing that through the physical body. Yes. We can bring in lots of health and healing. Why not? And bringing in energy of the earth again, and bring that in for the energetic body. Smiling, looking up, and bringing through beautiful energy, vitality, health, flow through the body. And again, breathing in the earth, and embracing, looking up towards the heavens and spirit, and bring in the energy of spirit, energy of peace, of love and light, and well-being. All of those bodies working together. And bringing your arms up and embracing life, embracing the magic of the world, the great mysteries, and bringing that into your heart. And feeling that in your heart. And then sending gratitude to all of your partners out here in the room we've been sharing with. It's wonderful work together, learning and growing and bringing that back into your heart. And feeling yourself as a healer. You're playing with these wonderful worlds of healing. And as you do that, knowing that you're shining your light in the world. Every time that you do a healing, you add to the light. So we thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. See you tomorrow on my lunch break.
Okay.
Yes. Come on in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks,
It's always
everybody.
like such a fun contrast between like heady school and then I get to come in and it's so fun.
Yes.
Thank